Service announcement, if you pre-ordered a Switch 2, understand that here, let me take the headphones off. Um, if you pre-order a Switch 2, be mindful of the fact that Split Fiction is a digital download code. Be careful about buying the physical. Don't waste your time. It's a waste of plastic. Watch out for game key cards. If you buy a game key card, which it has the white banner at the bottom of the actual game, you are not getting the entirety of the game on it, and you will have to download it onto your system, which kind of defeats the purpose because, well, at that point, you're gonna if the server shut down, you no longer have your game, which sucks. Also, there's no discount for buying a game key card versus other games. Now, some of them might be priced less, but it's still the point. I will point out that um, this is going to come ahead for you digital only people and game key card people versus physical because unlike physical, which uses very little, if no actual system memory, those are going to take up more space. And that's important because after 256 gigs, you're going to need a memory card. You cannot use the memory card from your Switch. Don't even bother with a majority of the memory cards out there. It has to be an ST Micro Express card. If it doesn't have the word or name Express in there, it's not happening. There's only really a couple of manufacturers that saw out there at the moment that are doing this, which is Lexar. They had a gig, a 512, a 256, and a 128, um, which was respectively a terabyte was about $200 or so. 512 was about 100, 256 was about 60, and then 128 was like 40, which is not that great of a deal. They are a much faster card than the other ones. They transfer at 900 megabytes per second. You also have the SanDisk ones, which are, I think, a little bit slower, but I guess they're acceptable. They're only offering 128 and 256, and they had the branded ones from Samsung. There's the SanDisk one, again, same sizes. And then, of course, I don't know who makes them or what's going on. GameStop is selling some, and they unless Lexar comes back in stock, they're going to be the only games in town. You will have to pre-order those. You can't buy them right now, and they're going to be slower. They're 800 megs a second instead of 900. And what quality are the GameStop memory cards? Right? It kind of makes sense from GameStop because well, if they can't sell you games and you're doing digital, they can sell you a memory card. Um, we'll see how that goes, but be mindful of that. You could be in a world of hurt come release date because you got to transfer all your games over and you run out of space. So be aware of that. All right. Enough of that nonsense. I do apologize, but I had to say something because if you guys aren't paying attention, it's a thing. What's up, crazy crew? Oh, you're welcome on the PC. It's really cool. I'll talk about the PC in a bit. So far, it's a little slow in the beginning. The dialogue's great. I think the expressiveness, they really focused on that. It's more expressive with the characters and the expressions, which are great. It gives you closer to an approximation of the Super Mario show, how lively they were in that game, that TV show, which is kind of cool. But there's no voice acting, right? They're speaking Italian gobbledygook, and it's all text. So be mindful of that. But that's okay. I like the timing that you have to do for blocks and for attacks. It makes you be active even though it's turn-based. And you have different types of attacks. So certain attacks work better on others, like a stomp versus a hammer versus other things. Yeah, it's not bad. It works well. Obviously, I'm not in a battle right now to show you. I do have some of my other stuff on YouTube and Rumble. If you want to look at those, I have playlists for those. But so far, so good. And of course, as I play the game, obviously it expands more. It gets more depth and things like that. There was one puzzle that was kind of hard to get because you had Luigi follows you naturally, and you had to hit it a certain way so Luigi would hit it so you'd get to another area, which was a little difficult. But once I got past that, it wasn't too bad. It's a little different. Like, you don't have your traditional enemies or anything else in this as of right now. And you don't have your traditional, like, mushroom guys. You got these plug people and whatnot. But it's fun and interesting. Can't complain too much. And, of course, it is an RPG. You know, you get items and equipment and health items and things like that. So far, though, let's see. We're looking for the lighthouse, and I think it's right about here. And I guess I don't have a connection to over here, it looks like. So similar to yes, it's very similar to Mario RPGs. So if you like those games, you'll probably like these in that regard. But as of right now, you're only controlling Mario and Luigi. There is no... So basically, if you didn't watch the thing, there's this big island. We got sucked into here, and it split up. And there was these 4 major lighthouses that were holding things together to the big tree. And some bad guys did some stuff. We don't know who. And so I'm on the hunt for the very first lighthouse, which is probably going to be the first boss. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's a fun game. It's a fun game. Oh, this story is interesting. I do question whether the other Mushroom Kingdom people are involved somehow, because they do show them. But they don't show them getting sucked up. So I don't know if we're going to find, you know, Peach or Bowser or whatnot in here, like, further in the game. You know, who's to say Bowser isn't behind the lead guy behind all these guys, the bad guys? It's hard to say. We'll see what that looks like. But it's interesting. It's interesting. Also, if you're a fan of Mario RPG, I do have a playthrough on Mario RPG on my YouTube and Kick, or Rumble. So I did complete that game, which is a remake of the Super Nintendo one. I do have the other Marios, though. I just haven't played them on stream yet. So, which is Paper Mario for the Wii, the Wii U, the Switch, and of course, once the Switch 2 comes out and I get the GameCube, I'll end up getting the premium online, which then I'll have Paper Mario from the N64, which is cool. Yeah, a lot of these RPGs forget about the Mushroom Kingdom. The one on the Switch doesn't, and I'm trying to think. I don't think the one on the Wii U did. I don't believe. I think the N64 sort of maybe. Definitely the Wii did. It was very much like its own thing. But it was still a cool story, nonetheless. And it was very, you know, side-scrollerly. But that's fine. That's fine. Only problem with the Wii U one is that I didn't like is to attack, you had to use cards, which was fine. But if you ran out of cards, guess what? You're out of luck. You can't attack. I didn't like that. That was a problem at the end of the actual game. I ran out of cards and couldn't fight, and then you were stuck. I'm about to finish my setup. I have all the Nintendo consoles except the N64 and NES. Hold on. You mean these? I have all my original game systems. All of them. I have that. The Wii. I don't know. Oh. GameCube is right there. And on my other side, which I don't think you can see, N64. So, yep. Well, the thing about it is I bought the systems and I always thought it was a waste to get rid of them. Years and years of collecting. You got to understand, as a Nintendo fan, which you probably do know, we had spurts and things of actual sparsity. I mean, to give you an idea, if you look up a little bit, Yeah, if I zoom in there. Those are my Super Nintendo and N64 cartridges in NES. I didn't have much. And to be honest, the reason why was they were expensive, but also not all the games were worth it. It's like, as a kid, you were like, is it worth spending all like 60, 70, $80 for a game if I'm only going to get a few hours of gameplay? So gamers back then were very stingy with what they were going to buy. And luckily, there weren't typically games that were like a few hours like the current ones, which is, kind of a thing. But no, this is years and years of stuff. And also understand that when it comes to this, a lot of those games, I was able to use the GameStop use buy two, get one free. That's how you get the collection going. And I made it a point that once you got so far to buy those, and then on top of that, the Nintendo games never go on sale. And I was doing years ago the Gamers Club through Best Buy, and I would earn more rewards with that, and then I get a discount. And so I would get a discount, I would earn rewards, and I would buy my Nintendo games from there. Then when that failed, then I went to Walmart. They were unofficially discounting Nintendo games for $100, so they were all $50. So let's go. And so I totally took advantage of it. That's how I ended up with a lot of my PlayStation back catalog of games, is because of that. I am tried and true a physical owner because I like to own things and have it because they can't take it from me, unlike Ubisoft. Anyway, I digress. I do have a Switch 2 pre-ordered, the new Mario Kart, a Pro controller, and all that jazz. So I will be trying, as soon as I get it, I will be unboxing it and streaming it. And of course, I will be getting the Mario Party game for my kids and whatnot. Right now I'm looking at the garage sales and giving old people... Dude, do not knock garage sales. Like, garage sales are pretty good because you can find rare gems and they don't know what they're trading or getting rid of. They just want to get rid of stuff, so usually they're pretty cheap. Facebook Marketplace is okay in certain areas, but the only problem is typically they try to match what it's selling for online, so you won't always get a good deal. Sup, R Discover, how are you doing? Just sitting here talking to crazy crew because we're playing Mario and Luigi Brothership, but he was talking about my setup in the games and things like that, and was telling him how I got the collection, which, by the way, you can't even see all of it. It's a little bit messy, but it goes further. I just don't have lighting down there, and no one can see it, so there's no real point. Stand out at a GameStop for 6 hours trying to get a Switch 2. Couldn't get it. Womp womp for me. Hey, listen. Thanks. It's not your fault. I had to watch... What was his name? Randall? It's a streamer dude. I forget his name off the top of my head. I'll have to... I don't know if he's doing current things on that. Let me look here real quick. Jake Randall. I watched Jake Randall's stream, and he has experience from all the pre-order nonsense from PlayStation and everything else. And all 25,000 of us watching the stream was telling us what to do. And collectively, as a group, we were saying, hey, it's live here, it's live there. Best Buy was late by half hour. Walmart, you went into a queue and it just sat there forever. Target, I got in on Target, got it out of the cart, then had to switch over to the Target app. So I made sure I was logged into the app for all the different sites. Was able to get a pre-order at Target, and then later I got a Walmart one for my son. But like, I really wanted a Best Buy to get the midnight one, but that never ever happened. Some people did get them, but that was it. And of course, camping out at GameStop, that was the last bastion, to be honest. How quickly they're going to be able to get more, I don't know. Though I'll be honest with you, I'm sure they're cranking those suckers as fast as they possibly can. I just don't know how. I mean, there's going to be such a demand. It's not even going to be funny. So, thank you, Crazy, on the hidden gem. Well, I have a lot of stuff out there, and it makes it hard. You got to try to get discoverability out there. Eventually, I plan on getting reviews of all these games that I have out there, and I've also tried to hit a wide net. I mean, I'll go anywhere from playing Cyberpunk's 2077 to Pup of the Pig. Which I've done that because there are some people that they'll kids will watch my channel in the holiday time frame, and that was just trying to bump up my channel in general when it was very low in that regard. And then of course I did do my very first game, which is Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, when I started 2 years ago. That took me a year to complete that game, about 100 episodes. Oh, I tried to, I didn't force it on them, but both my kids are down with Pikmin. They are Pikmin obsessed, though hilariously enough, my youngest was like complaining that I wasn't playing enough Mario, even though I'm playing Mario today. He's watching some other guy playing Mario. I'm like, really? Really? It took me so much to convince my dad to pre-order a PlayStation for me. Hey, listen, I did not get a PlayStation 4 right away. And part of the reason why I didn't was I didn't see a lot of good games for it right away. So it's kind of like, I'll wait. It's not that big of a deal. And I ended up getting a PlayStation 4. Of course, I ended up trading it in to help. Well, I didn't trade it in. I sold it privately to someone for about 280. So I made out pretty good on it because originally I think it was like 400 bucks. Because my PlayStation 5 was gonna, pay for it or play it for me. And then the other flip side of it was just the fact that the memory is faster and everything else in that regard. So there was no reason not to upgrade because I got the one blinded by the light and had to. Hey, listen, I understand how it is. Understand that when it came to the Nintendo Switch, as soon as I saw the original one, I put a pre-order in because I knew that thing was going to go like hotcakes, and it took forever to be able to get one. PlayStation 5, you know how I got one of those? I had to pre-order it through Sony's website, which was nuts. If you don't have a PlayStation 5, like I will tell anyone from those regards, if you have a PlayStation 4 and you have physical games, great. Go with the PlayStation 5. The problem is they don't sell the PlayStation 5 with the disk drive anymore. They sell them without it, and you have to buy an $80 attachment, which is kind of crap. If you can get a used PlayStation 5, that would probably be your best bet, one with the disk drive. You can get a Pro, but it's like 700 bucks. I can't justify it. Oh, trust me. First system was, N64. I'm sure you can see it this way. I have a Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy SP. I never did get into the 3DS stuff. That was more on my son a little bit. Um, I just, I don't know. I just wasn't having it at that time. But no, I have all the Nintendo systems and always been a very big Nintendo fan. But it is what it is because they're the ones that push the industry. They're the ones that everyone copies at a certain point. Um, the only thing that the Sony people have done was, well, first of all, I don't know trivia if you knew. The reason why the Super Nintendo won was because of audio and colors. And the reason why they won in audio was because of Sony. Sony made the sound chip in the Super Nintendo. I found a PlayStation Field, and of course it doesn't work. Go figure. And they have liquid metal for thermal paste, so if it's in bad repair or it's been whatever, it's probably why I was chucked. Oh, yes. And they originally were making a disk drive attachment for the Super Nintendo, or they were going to do something. There's a rare one out there that it's a Super Nintendo, but like sort of like a the Sega CD. It was an attachment or whatever. But Nintendo and Sony had a disagreement because Nintendo wanted to keep with the cartridges because it was faster, and Sony wanted to do the disc because they wanted to sell the discs. Yes. So the reason why Sony did well was because Nintendo had the market, and Sony gave the game companies a different option, which was cheap discs. I mean, Final Fantasy VII would not have happened because it was on 3 different discs, and that's why they jumped ship because they were trying to do more with their games and they couldn't do it on the Nintendo system. I mean, memory's expensive, but isn't it funny? Isn't it funny that now you're capped out on optical discs for the moment, and the only way you're going to get larger games is going to be on flash memory? But I still think it's kind of dirty because a 64 gig cartridge should only cost 10 bucks. I don't know if Nintendo's charging like 30. I don't know what the actual thing is. I don't know if they're on NDAs. But I'm seeing 4 gigabyte, was it Puyo Puyo Tetris from Sega? It's a game key card. You can't buy the physical game on it. There's Suikoden 1 and 2. On the original Switch, it's on the actual cart. You buy it on Switch 2, guess what? Game key card. It's not all on the cartridge. It's a crock of you know what. Did you know Microsoft tried to help with the GameCube? Um, I think they originally tried to help with that, but um, I think they decided to go their own way in that regard. And part of it was they wanted to have a tie-in with their ecosystem with the PC to a certain extent, which of course didn't work all that well at the time. Um, but Xbox was a great idea. I think Xbox's downfall right now is more of the Game Pass and releasing their games on PC because people are like, why buy an Xbox when I can do Game Pass? And so thus people don't make games exclusively for the Xbox. They just put it on Game Pass. And I think they're shooting themselves in the foot. I don't know if it's because there's just not a lot of profit in the consoles and they just don't see the point. I don't know. Nintendo laughed at them when they said it. Well, I still kind of laugh at them to a certain extent because they didn't do anything revolutionary. About the only thing they really pushed, which was good, was the online part, right? Game Pass is a double-edged sword. The problem that you have as a developer is you put your game on Game Pass, they give you a little bit of money for the game from the get-go, but if it's a million seller or whatever, you're getting hosed and losing money, and Microsoft is raking it in. Your other problem is you have the Netflix effect, which is from a consumer standpoint, they may pull certain titles on and off of Game Pass, and then you lose access to your game because you own nothing and you will like it. But then there's also the whole, well, no, don't worry about the typos. But then you also have the issue of, Nintendo sort of has this, but most game stores will, is if there's a glut of games, you get lost in the noise, right? Unless you have a lot of stuff. Oh, it's not a problem. Listen, I am here for you guys because I understand that this isn't just about me playing games. I'll play the games whenever, but it's mainly to interact, talk, get recommendations on games, and enjoy the games. Probably games that maybe you've already played and you're getting to enjoy through me playing it for the first time, or maybe in other cases help me play the game. I had someone help me out with Dead Island 2 last night, and they played it for 500 hours, and they've actually talked to developers about and had suggestions on what to do for Dead Island 3, which was crazy and fun. Oh, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. Trying to get up to that 500 mark, but it's taken a while. Part of it's because I'm not a hot lady, you know what I mean? It's a bit of an issue. So that's what's going on there. Past that, I don't know where the industry is going to go. I have a feeling at a certain point Xbox might drop off, or they might just do a basic system. They're putting more and more on the other systems, and I just don't see it going well because if we had some type of law or something that would protect us as a consumer, that if I buy something, I won't lose it. There's the whole preservation of games and stuff. Because there are some games that were on the Wii U or were on the Wii that you just can't get anymore because they're just gone. Things have been shut down. To be honest, I don't know how I got 2.8 subscribers, if I could give them to you. Oh, don't worry about it. What you can do is share with your subscribers and your friends if you see someone that does well and give them a shout out. I mean, there's various people that they just hit on certain titles and everyone flocks to it. A good example of that is DB Geek. DB Geek, he wasn't really big or whatever. I kind of watched him, and he played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the first time, and he hadn't played a Nintendo game like ever. And he was mainly a Sony guy, and he got sucked in hardcore. And, he's up to half a mil now, and he's doing charity funds and things like that. And it's great because a lot of times you got these guys out there playing COD and stuff, which is great, but not everyone wants to watch that, right? So, but we'll see how that goes. And again, if I have to, I do have a retro chink to hook up the old systems if need be, if I can't use the modern systems. So there's always a option for that. Dude, I have a stupid exam tomorrow. I am what? Oh, hey, listen, don't let me hold you up. If you got an exam, make sure to go take care of that. You know, study for your exam. That's, you got to get that done. You don't want to mess that up. I'll be here. Sup, Xanax. Oh, if I can pronounce that right. Xanalix the Back Gremlin. Wow, what a name. That is a complex name. Thanks. How you doing? Call me Zane. Zane works. Okay. Well, yes, just a bit. I mean, it's a little shorter. I'm sure you wanted probably Zane from the get-go, but someone probably took it and, you had to expand it a bit. I know how that is. Don't feel bad about it. Are you live on Twitch or on TikTok? I am live on Kick. Well, Kick's kind of broke right now. Kick, YouTube, Twitch, and Rumble. So, as it stands, that's the way I do it. I haven't done TikTok because I don't know how well some of these things would play. Also, some of the stuff I play in ultra wide for the PC, and that makes it rough. And when I do play my PlayStation 5 stuff like Final Fantasy, I do 1440p to give a higher resolution. But when I do the PC, I do ultra wide. Oh, and if you're wondering about the PC, it's a 7950X 3D, and I have a 700 XDX in there, 64 gigs of RAM, and to round it out, I have a NAS with a 10 gig fiber for video storage and stuff. So I built it out a bit. I had a 12 core, but a lot of these islands are kind of weird. Thanks for coming by, Crazy Crew. Yeah, definitely. Good luck on your exam. Finished Brothership last night. It's so peak. No spoilers, though. Good. Thank you. I mean, it looks like it's a fun game. The mini game whooped my ass when I played it. How'd you do it so well? I position my fingers like this. That, and I'll be honest, it's been a couple of months, but I played a couple of games, Trolls and some other ones, where they had a mini Guitar Hero type thing, which is a similar type thing. And to be honest with you, the timing, learning the timings of when you need with the song, which they sort of have with this a little bit, timing, and then RPG was timing, so a lot of that. That's smart. Guitar Hero experience would have helped. Yes. But I just learned a hack. What I'm doing, just to show you, when they're attacking, I'm literally hitting my button right here, hitting both of them at the same time. It's just easier. The only way that wouldn't work is on that one boss where he alternately threw waves and would hit the different characters, and you'd have to anticipate. You can't do that. Love the fact that bros have different versions of the same attack, yet always include the other. They may be a little different, but they face anything and everything on the side. Yes, that is definitely something I like about this game. Even though they have the same attack, they do it a little bit differently. First of all, it makes it more visually interesting, and it doesn't make it repetitive. But I also like, okay, so he does the hat thing, and when Luigi gets his level up, he does a dance, which is kind of cool. Cool. Yes, they're different. They may be inseparable brothers to the end, but oh my god, they aren't the same person. M&L has been good with this, but Brothership especially. Well, it's not just that, but it's also the Mario movie, if you think about it. I mean, this really does, because it shows Luigi's smart and thinking and stuff, which is another level that I don't know if you always get, but it seems with every good thing, whether it's a Mario, Luigi, or various other things, we seem to get the more definition of their personality, if you will, which is kind of cool. But this one is very personal game-wise. I also like the little touch that even though they're not speaking full voice lines, they're speaking Italian, and it's funny because they could just have Garbity go rah 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 rah, but they chose Italian. Which no one's gonna, well, I don't speak Italian, but I'm sure maybe someone who does, maybe they're actually saying something. I wouldn't put past me if Nintendo came up with something. Luigi rubber banding. I mean, that's probably the worst part of the game. I think it happened to me like 5 times in a 50-hour playthrough. Yeah, I mean, I kind of get it though, because like a good example, they probably play tested it and probably had it without it, and then they probably had a problem where some kid didn't understand why they couldn't figure something out, so they had to program it in to naturally do it, or because if I got to the top and tried to get Luigi to help, right, it wouldn't work. Like, I'd get up here and I'd be like, okay, I can't do anything, and then they get frustrated and wouldn't like the game. And they didn't want to, I guess, have them just pop in because it looked weird. Though they have had that happen on other games. So I totally get it. If it was, then they'd use it as a banger mechanic for puzzles. You know, I'm trying to think. The problem with that is it's not obvious. And so if they did it on purpose, it might be more frustrating than a good idea. And if it's one thing I'm pretty sure they're trying to do with this game or these type of games, is they don't want you as much as possible to be frustrated, but they want you to think. By the way, your answer question earlier, most Mario and Luigi games have been on portables. Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, and finally making mainline console Switch. Yeah, I guess I never played the Game Boy Advance. I had the Advance. I guess I never ended up picking that up. My guess is what ended up happening is it came out after a certain point when I stopped playing handhelds as much because I just didn't have time. Yeah, returning from Mario Luigi Dream Team, our goat catnap. Who asked for this guy to come back? I don't know which looks hurt more, Mario Luigi's hammer attacks. I think it really depends on the type of enemy as to what would be more effective. Because one's more of a swing, whereas the other one is more of a pound. Thank you for coming out, Zerum. Husband, I appreciate it. If you like what you saw, give me a like, follow, subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. If you have Twitch, link to your Amazon Prime, you can give me a sub free, costs you nothing, helps me out. When you go to do the sub, make sure you hit the toggle button and it'll change that lower 1 month tier to free, and you can go ahead and do that. If you are on YouTube, just give me a like, subscribe, greatly appreciate it. And of course, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday at 9:30 at twitch.tv/gamewithmagus, also on Rumble, YouTube, and Kick. And you should follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and X. That way, when things change, you know what's going on. But also, you can make suggestions on games you want to see me play in the future. Use more bros attacks. Listen to the sound of the belly drum attack and know if it bounces or not. Good advice. Thank you. But until next time, stay adventurous.